Dawn Lewis here today, and I'm going to show you how to make an embellishment cluster. I'm working with this KennyK Soccer Girl polymer stamp set today, but the cluster is the thing that I really want to show you. This is stash diving stuff. So get out your red, white and black boxes, ladies. We're going to start from the beginning though. So here's the polymer stamp. As much as I love to copic colour, these ones come with some really cool little extra stamps. So I'm taking the metal and using some embossing ink by Ranger Tim Holtz Distress Ink, and I'm going to stamp this on a piece of very plain red cardstock. Now I love the embossing ink. I could have just stamped this and left it as a watermark, but what I'm actually going to do is take some clear embossing powder. Now I thought to myself I'd stamp the whole background, but by the time I got to this fourth stamped image, I realized the first one was drying out a little bit. So I've taken my clear embossing powder and I keep it in this little decor container. One day I'll tip it into the container and get a spoon, but right now it stays in the jar. And so shake it all over, all the excess goes into the box and I can just tip it back into the jar. It's fantastic stuff, nothing wasted. So you can be generous when you're putting your powder on. But you'll notice that top left-hand image, it had started to dry and not a lot of the embossing powder had stuck to it. So from now on, I know just stamp 2-3 images tops and be quick about it and then put the powder on. Two things to take note of when you're doing heat embossing with stamping. If you have an anti-static tool, use it. There are many different kinds of embossing ink, Versamark, but I'm using this one because it stays wet for a long time. When you are doing a second layer, so you can see I've already got powder on and I'm putting on more, just try not to get your fingers on the ones you've already put the powder on so you don't smudge it. My next tip is when you take your embossing heat gun to the page, really let it heat up first. The more heat you put onto your cardstock, the more damage you do to it. I've never singed one, but if you see here, this one has buckled. Look at that. That's completely buckled. But it's a really simple fix. Tape all the way around. A little piece in each corner is just not going to cut it, okay? So double-sided tape all the way, very, very close to the edge, and we won't have a problem. I'm also putting a little piece in the center just so it doesn't bubble up in the middle. It's going to stay down flat. My card base today is a Fundamentals Craft pre-cut square card base. You can get these at Spotlight. I love it. It's a really luscious, thick craft cardstock, and I'm right into at the moment using up my scraps before I dig into something new. So I cut it a little short, the red piece, so that I can put a strip of this really cool Kaisercraft double-sided pattern paper. It's also on a craft base with these really cool arrows on it, and I had a strip left over from a project I did for Australian Paper Craft Stamping and Card Making magazine this month, so I wanted to use that. I've pre-coloured my image. I'll put a link below to my blog where you can find all the copic colours that I used. And instead of you moving your scissors when you're fussy cutting, move the cardstock. Now, I'm sorry if you're feeling seasick. I filmed this on my phone. I promise to never do that again. It just kept moving, and then this last lot failed. So use some double-sided tape to stick down your girl. You can put it on before or after you fussy cut. Now, this video failed, so bear with me. I filmed my video. I'm using some mesh ribbon. I'm using laser cut felt that's self-adhesive, and some satin ribbon, and I've just turned that into a little I want to say bow, but I know that's not right. It'll come to me later. Red and white butcher's twine. Just threw a button out of my stash. I pulled out my red, black and white embellishment boxes. Found some really cool goodies in there. Trim your twine short. I'm using multi-matte medium to put on the button. It's super, super strong. And I'm also using it to add this Fundamentals wood veneer piece. This is one of the newer things in my collection. This is a really old piece in my collection. Couldn't tell you where I got that star from, but the Tombow mono adhesive is holding it really, really well. Kaisercraft, I've got droplets and I've also got some rhinestones. I've got a greeting, it's a darkroom door stamp from my greetings box. I'll put a link to that video below. Flower, brad, double-sided tape. Look at this. It's just a collection of stuff that I have had in my stash. Some of those pieces are up to 8 years old. There are links below to everything stamps, other videos. I would like to thank you very much for watching. Sorry about the quality. I have a new camera now. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll be back soon with more crafty videos. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.